The quest for mediocrity continues. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
I'm Garrett.
Lemoin.
What's there to say? The Mariners have been playing a little bit better. Still not getting as many wins as they should. Dropped a tough one on Saturday against the White Sox that they should have won. Paul Sewald blew the save. Then they lost in extras. It's kind of a bummer. Put up a good series, though, against the Marlins.
Oh, yeah. We almost swept the Marlins. We kind of got robbed in the third game, but, I mean, great breakout series for our offense, at least.
Yeah, that third game, the sweep, we had, 3 home runs robbed, including a game-tying grand slam in the bottom of the 9th inning. That was just brutal.
Tough for Gino there.
Yeah, that would have been such a huge moment for him. Bottom of the 9th inning, 4-0, 1 out, bases loaded, and he lifts one to deep right field, and their right fielder hopped over the fence and robbed it. Would have been the game tire. Ended up just being a sacrifice fly, but that's not enough. Too little, too late. It was a good series against the Marlins. Split the series so far against the White Sox, going for the series win tomorrow against Nolan Pud boy Lance Lynn on the mound. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can get to him.
Fastball farm tomorrow. Yeah, Lance Lynn and George Kirby. Fastballs all day.
Well, that's great for offense because that's all we can really hit.
Yeah. So that'll be good, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the Marlins series was what we want to see. Like, the Mariners have been getting on starting pitching. Their approach at the plate's looking better. They're seeing more pitches and like jumping on the pitches that are good ones to hit. Like I've been saying all year that, you know, the approach looks pretty shoddy. They're chasing a lot, swinging at pitches that they can't do damage on. And it really seems like in their hitters meetings or whatever, there's actually something happening here where there's more of a team approach and they're seeing pitches and trying to get on the starting pitcher and identifying their weaknesses and our strengths and going out there with a plan and kind of sticking to it. And I've heard Scott Service say it in some post games too, where he's saying, yeah, I mean, we stuck to our plan and it's nice. We didn't get off track. No one's out there trying to do too much and everyone knows the situation and is playing to the situation and trying to do their job the best they can when they're up there, you know? And sometimes we'll strike out, but we're walking more and we're slugging more too, which is really what the Mariners need. Just a little punch, a little on-base percentage. That leads to scoring runs. We have seen the Mariners leave a lot of base runners on, which is frustrating too. So I think the Mariners are playing a lot better than they were in the last couple weeks. Something is clicking. They have more chemistry, and they're kind of stringing things together better. Going into the White Sox series, I mean, we're riding high, right? We want to take these games against the White Sox. They've kind of been struggling, but their pitching is not bad. I mean, we should have jumped all over Giolito today on Saturday, my birthday.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
How is Lance Lynn doing this year?
He's terrible. He's awful this year.
Was it last year where he kind of popped off and had a really good year?
Yeah, he was awesome last year, and he was also a very heavy fastball-only pitcher. Like, yeah, he has other stuff that he mixes in, but he's like the Bryce Miller, just very, very strong fastball and uses it all the time. And it's not working out for him this year, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, he throws a few different fastballs, like cutter, sinker, four seam. He's a guy that mass equals gas for him. He goes out there and gives it what he's got that day. Sometimes it's good. This year, not so great so far, but I mean, he can always go out there and shove. He hasn't been. So hopefully we can jump all over him.
Now, I imagine as a hitter, it's just like, okay, I don't know if it's going to go in or out, but I know it's going to be really fast. And so I just got to swing really hard.
We were at the
That's
game
philosophy.
today. We got ourselves some fresh new Steelheads replica jerseys, and we got to see J.P. Crawford take Lucas Giolito deep in the very first pitch of the game. That was great.
Love that mentality.
That
I
was
love
sick.
swinging first pitch at the at-bat. I love it.
That's also how you get that Ichiro special, the 1 pitch, 1 out to start the game. But JP hopped all over. That was a hell of a way to start the game. I was thinking, oh, look at all the momentum's on our side. First pitch. No way we're going to lose this. Wrong.
I mean, we kept the momentum going all the way into the 9th inning. The only downside was that it was 3-2 in the 9th. Paul Sewald let a run in to tie the game to go into extras, and then we lost in extras. So the momentum was up. Just one mistake in the 9th kind of tipped the scales a little bit.
Also, I am so tired of Julio not being clutch. He is coming around. He is having a better season. His bat is heating up. But still, how many times has he come up in that big spot in the 8th, 9th, or 10th inning, extras, and he's just not getting it done? JP in the 9th worked his ass off to get a walk. Full count, fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch. Earns himself a walk, and now it's young Julio's time to shine. You're getting paid like a superstar. You need to be that superstar, and he faltered again. He'll pop up to, I don't know, second base or foul territory. Is just...
Yeah, dude, that was such a great at-bat by JP. That was his best at-bat of the day. Yeah, he went yard on the first pitch of the game. He was feeling it. Like, you can see his swing has developed, and he's swinging with more veracity, with more power instinct than he ever has. He's really letting it loose, and he's on the ball, too. All day, he had good at-bats, and that last one, I thought he was going to go yard, and when he walked, went to first base and was talking to our first base coach.
Negron.
Yeah, Negron there. He was like doing little motions with his hands like, oh, dude, I was right on this one. He did it a few times. He's like, man, I just missed it. Like, he was kind of like frustrated that he walked because he was like, shit, like, dude, I was about to go yard. And I felt it that whole at-bat. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, and then Julio couldn't get it done. And then the next inning, they had Mariners had runners on second and third with 1 out, and Cal Rowley struck out, and then I can't even remember who next got out, but didn't score, couldn't get him in. 2 runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs, and you can't do a damn thing with it. And that's why you lose these games.
We just needed to put the ball in play there. It was second and third with 1 out because we double stole. Like, we got third and we got the out of the double play situation, and then we just needed to put the ball in play, and we struck out. I popped up and struck out or something like that. It was really rough. It's like, dude, all you have to do, you could put the ball on the ground to second base and we score this run. They weren't infield in.
No.
Like, man, that was pretty devastating. We had that game in hand 3 times. Like, the bottom of the 9th inning, we should have won that game. Paul Sewald came in, and I was like, oh, lockdown, we got it. And no, we didn't.
Defeat clinched from the jaws of victory.
And the bottom of the 9th, we had the position we were in position to win that game. Couldn't. Held them in the 10th. We were in position to win that game in the 10th. Didn't. That was tough.
I didn't watch the game or listen to it on the radio. I was just getting updates on my phone. How did Sewald give up a run? What was the situation like?
Just hits, a couple knock around, like a walk, couple singles.
Yep.
Get them on, get them over, get them in.
First and second single.
Yep.
And then, first and second again, and we got out of it. Yeah, it was...
That was all it took to tie the game, just for us to lose 2 innings later.
Well,
yeah,
that's baseball, boys. Like, I'm not as frustrated as I was last week. I'll admit I've been kind of frustrated. But things have turned around, and I'm trying to stay more on an even keel and see that the Mariners do have more chemistry, because tonight it felt like it did last year, where that we kind of have that confidence in those close games like we did Friday night, right?
But again, it's another 1-run loss.
Yes.
Well, yeah, last year
a preventable one too.
Yes.
Yeah, we could have had this game in the bag.
Well, and that was the thing and we've mentioned this before, in the last 2 seasons, the Mariners had the most 1-run wins in baseball. And everyone's like, oh, that, you can't, that's not a long winning plan. Like it's going to catch up to you eventually. And we were like, no, that's chaos ball, baby. That's just how we do it. And then sure enough, yeah, this year it's the exact opposite. We're losing all these 1-run games. We're losing in extras. It's just the ball isn't bouncing our way this year, and we need to start making our own luck, and we're not doing that either.
Still hovering around 500, though, and going into the All-Star break, 500 is exactly what we wanted to do at the beginning of the season. And then here we are, still bitching. So, I mean, we're in an okay spot, but it does need to come around in the second half of this season.
I don't know. I thought we were more optimistic at the start of this season.
Yeah,
I was like 500 is like the low point. That's the low part of the ceiling. Like I want a high point would be first or second place, but now it's like okay, 500 is not bad. We're like coping.
Yeah, we didn't foresee what the Rangers were gonna do. We saw the pieces they signed and thought maybe,
That's fair,
but the Rangers really took off. The Angels have kind of put things together and have some wins. The Astros haven't been the Astros we've known and are still in the mix. And then there's the Mariners, right? And yeah, I mean, expectations were super high coming into the season. I remember saying, yeah, like if we're 500 by the All-Star break, okay, like we still have time to go. Just depends on how many other teams are really going, like how many wins they have there and how much ground we have to make up. Last year we played really well in the last few months of the season, and we need to do the same thing, but we need to have some winning streaks, where things are
I just feel like it's a win one, lose one every time. Like we can't get a streak going. We win a game, we have a nice game, and we're like, oh, that felt really good. Next day, it's same old bullshit.
I was just gonna say, I don't think, in terms of like our division, I don't think the Angels they're being carried by the Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant of Mike Trout and Ohtani. Like I don't think if anything happens to one of those dudes, they're fucked. Like they can't do anything. Like I know they have like a decent squad, but like Ohtani is carrying that offense like on his back, like insanely well. He's having like a historic year for sure. I just don't think that's sustainable to have one guy carry you like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. He is carrying that team, but I mean, they do have more pieces than they ever have in the recent years. They have put together a decent pitching staff. I heard they're like 5th or 6th in like starting pitching ERA or something. Like they're doing decent, and he is part of that starting pitching staff. But I mean, they do have other guys who are getting it done as well around them, which makes them a little more dangerous than they have been in the past. And they're surprised. I don't know how sustainable it is. We really have yet to see, but Shohei Ohtani at the trade deadline is one of the biggest news stories at the beginning of this season, and I thought for sure the Angels weren't going to be where they are now, and Shohei would be the biggest news, like who's going to get Shohei at the trade deadline. But they're going to keep him if they're in the mix, so
I hope, in typical Angels fashion, that they don't trade him, because they're going on this potential playoff push, and then they just crash and burn in like September. Just completely tank, and then they didn't get any pieces for Ohtani. They let him walk at the end of the year now for free, and they missed the playoffs.
That'd be very Angels.
It would be. It would make me happy.
We'll see.
What do you think the size of when Ohtani goes somewhere else? What do you think the size of the contract's going to be?
It's going to be over $500 million. It's going to be over $500 million.
$500 million is the going rate for a Shohei, I think.
How much is that in yen?
You do the conversion. Don't know.
12 trillion.
I mean, dude's going to get a lot of money. He wants to go to a contender, a team that has a window to win some championships, I think. I think he cares about winning.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter that if they were to do it right now, he would most likely land with the Dodgers. But we were in there with the Padres, too, as like potentials, like plan Bs and stuff. And that would be really cool if he came here.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it. Everyone would love it if he came to Seattle and changed the whole landscape of our window. Our window's just opening, right? We're kind of at the beginning of our young guns coming up who are still like going through arbitration. We haven't even signed them up yet, like Gilbert and Kirby and Raleigh and like even France, and like we still have a bunch of young guys who are contract we need to sign up, so it's hard to sign a Shohei too. But he would change the whole landscape of our team and our winning window.
In case anyone was wondering, $500 million is 71 billion yen.
Holy my God.
Right around.
It's a lot of zeros, baby.
It is a lot of zeros. It took me a second to figure out how to read this number.
You're just counting one.
Yeah.
Just counting zeros.
Yeah.
Balling.
And I still don't know if I got it right.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
You think if Ohtani came, I feel like the Mariners would just be the number one revenue franchise for like the next 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, Seattle Mariners have also always had that kind of big deal with Japan, with Nintendo being a co-owner of the Mariners in like the 90s and stuff. Their tie-ins with Ken Griffey Jr. for the Super Nintendo baseball games and stuff. There's always been a lot of tie-ins between Japan and the Seattle Mariners, and then also with like having Ichiro and stuff like
Kazuhiro Sasaki.
yeah, the Japanese and Seattle Mariners waters run deep. And yeah, Nintendo was a co-owner of the Mariners for a while. That was crazy.
Kenji Jojima.
I forgot about Jojima.
It's a cool name. Shigetoshi Asagawa.
There we go, Shiggy. Yeah, man, lots of Japanese players here. And there has always been strong ties. So, I mean, that's a plus for Seattle and Shohei. But
I still think it's a negative.
hey, I'm hoping, but it's hard to say it's probable.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it's negative because of the relationship. That's a good thing. No, I meant it's negative that I truly believe that with Ichiro Suzuki being here and having the legacy that he did is a big reason why Shohei will never come to Seattle Mariners.
Oh.
It's
You
kinda
don't want to
that way with a lot of Japanese players, though. They just don't want to live in Ichiro's shadow, right?
Yeah,
It's kind
or
of
just like it's like a very big honor thing too,
Yeah.
and stuff. And so, and I mean, I see that Shohei wants to be the greatest player of all time. I mean, who doesn't? And he has a very realistic chance of making that
I
happen.
mean, he is the greatest player of all time so far, I think. Like, I haven't seen anything better than what he's done this last couple years, ever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, still, people are gonna say Griffey, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, all those. He's in the discussion, but he wants to be in the top spot all to himself, which is fair. Who wouldn't want that? But if everything he does, he's like in Ichiro's shadow, especially here in Seattle. He doesn't want that.
He would blow Ichiro out of the water.
Yeah,
with his
I'm saying, bro,
numbers.
he would like just
He would
he
Godzilla.
would he would
Ichiro.
tower over that shadow in like a season. Yeah, Ichiro is cool. He broke the record for what most hits in a season. It's like 262 or some shit.
I think it was 252, but
But it's like okay, Ohtani's a historically good offense and pitching guy, which is already more valuable than Ichiro, I think. Man hits bombs. He's an excellent pitcher. Like, I just feel like he's just so much more than
He's
what
a
Ichiro.
monster.
Yes.
Yeah, Ichiro's a specimen. Like
Ohtani's a
Shohei's-
baseball superhero.
Yes, yes.
Comic
yeah,
book shit.
Ichiro's gonna look like Robin when Ohtani gets
Yeah,
there.
that's the thing.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe he wants to do something like that. Maybe that's
but
in the
then
back
it's
of his
going
mind.
over like the honor thing of like stepping on Ichiro's toes. I don't know. I don't see it happening. Even if the Mariners gave Ohtani a blank check, which he's gonna get anyways, it's literally just gonna be the infinite symbol for how much money he can just write his own money for the rest of his life. Because wherever he goes, he's gonna be the highest sports player in history.
He has the Wonka elevator in his
that golden
contract.
ticket.
In the contract.
It's like it's unlimited. You do better, you get paid more always. Like, but anyway, that dude, we can hope. A Sogcast can hope, but
That's all we got.
hey, man,
little poor little Sogcast dream.
best player ever.
No, it's gonna be because he was probably going to get shopped at the beginning of the season, but now that the Angels are doing well, they're not. But I can't imagine he's gonna want to stay.
Why would he?
Yeah.
That place sucks.
Well, I mean, if we were to trade for Shohei, who do we got, right? Like, it's
That's not happening.
it's
Haggerty,
I'm just
Demo,
trying to say, like,
Colton
it's
Wong.
trade season. Who's
Yeah.
on the trade block for the Mariners is really my point. Like, who we trading for? What do we need? we obviously could use Shohei, but like let's identify the Mariners trades, like targets. Who do we want to acquire? What do we need? Colton Wong is nothing right now. We have to DFA that guy and get do we want a left-handed second baseman?
Colton Wong isn't even playing right now. It's pretty much he'll get a spot start every once in a while, but it's pretty much all been Caballero.
It's Caballero all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caballero looks like an everyday player.
He's the real deal.
He finally has enough plate appearances to see like what he's able to do. The dude has a 390 something on base percentage. He's hitting doubles. He can hit. He can slap the ball around. He's selective. What else does Caballero do well?
I love how annoying he is. I would hate to
annoying
pitch
as
against
shit.
that guy.
He gets hit by pitch a lot, and he doesn't he's not mad at it. He just gets hit and is like, dope,
There's
I'm
that
on
little
first.
clap thing.
Let me
like,
go.
Yeah, you messed
Let's
up,
go.
bro.
I'm on.
He's pesky at second base, shifting and tweaking around and just throwing a wrench into everything. We watched him today pause an at bat for a really long time just to mess with his shoes.
Yeah, because he's been the only one, at least that I've seen, that is really like using the loopholes of the pitch clock to like mess with pitchers and get in their heads, and he takes full advantage of it every time he can.
That is a guy who fully understands the pitch clock.
Yeah,
Lives and dies by the
yeah.
pitch
He
clock.
when the rules are getting introduced, he took down every single note. He's got a law degree in that shit. He knows
Yeah.
everything that he can do.
Yeah, dude.
And he's fully taking advantage of it. And yeah, like today, he was in an 0-2 count, like quick, boom, boom, 2 strikes. And he takes like his full amount of time that he's allowed, then calls time and like leaves the batter's box, leaves the hitting circle, and like walks almost to the opposing team's like dugout, and then just like fucks with his shoe for as long as time allowed. And then the ump was like,
funny.
get back. And then and it did work. It got in the pitcher's head. He threw 2 quick balls then that were pretty wild, and then I think he put a little good charge into one and ended up lining out, but still a strategic move, a fun at bat.
That was great. That situation was really funny because everyone was kind of like, what's happening? What's going on? And I was kind of like, equipment malfunction? Like, it's Caballero. He waited as long as he could, called his timeout, and then went for a stroll. And, messed with his shoe. Like, I'm like, is he tying his shoe? And the catcher, put his leg out and was messing with his, shin guard. Like, the umpire's looking around like, okay. And Giolito's just up there, straight-faced, just trying to keep his composure. Just
Everyone's feeling antsy.
He's like, what the hell? Like, I'm ready. Get back in there, you know? We were all kind of like, what's happening? He didn't get an infraction or anything. He could have been struck out there, on a technicality.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he's using it to his advantage. That's really cool.
Yeah.
He plays the game with a lot of, he has baseball IQ. He's smart. I like
Very.
it.
So then, also, with you guys singing all of Caballero's praises here, are we willing to trade for another second baseman then, or do we think Cabs is the dude?
Yeah, that's the thing. We have this platoon thing going, right? And Dylan Moore's coming back, and he's kind of a right-handed second baseman, which Caballero is doing just fine. Dylan Moore can play left field and stuff, but he hasn't had a hit since he's back. So do we think about trading someone like Dylan Moore since
Yes.
we already have a Caballero and a Haggerty?
I think so.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're not going to get shit for them. Also, Demo just signed an extension last year. He's got 3 years extended. So
Yeah, I think we give him a little run here and see what he can do, obviously.
then just any team that also trades for him is willing to accept that he's going to be there for the next 3 years.
Yeah, that could be good for some teams that may need something like that. But, I mean, more than likely we're going to trade from our prospects to get, high prospects to get a bat, you know what I mean? Our pitching, we've been showing off Wu and Miller. We still have Harry Ford. We still have all these pitchers, Hancock, Baroa, Juan Then, Isaiah Campbell, Prelander, Baroa. Did I say that already? Anyway, we have all these pitchers and pre-arbitration players that we can pull from to trade for a big bat if a team needs to reload on prospects and rebuild. But I don't know. It's hard to say that we trade someone like a Dylan Moore unless it's part of a package deal, you know?
One, I think we need to trade Swaggerty and Demo. I don't find the utility role to be very advantageous. I think it's kind of a bust. Looking back, at Willie Bloomquist.
The heart of Port Orchard, Willie.
Yeah,
Bloomquist.
I don't remember anything memorable
Willie.
other than I would see him in the outfield and the infield 2 days in a row. I'm like,
What was memorable?
He's just there. It's like that nostalgia, but I can't remember anything cool he did.
What was memorable for me is seeing him a lot in AAA when I watched a lot of games in Tacoma. So, I mean, yeah, he was that 4A utility guy, which you're talking about Haggerty and Moore being that, and definitely, I agree. Shouldn't we just plug in the pieces we need? We don't need second base left fielders that are a bench steal threat late in the game, but not really a good pinch hit option. I don't know. Why have all these guys that do that?
It's our whole lineup bangs. Why would I want to sub in Demo, who's hitting 0, or Haggerty, who has not historically had a very good career? It's just I would rather give my chances to an 0-10 Kellenic with 9 Ks for the night than Demo, you know?
I'd say Caballero has put this all into perspective for us, where we love Demo and Haggerty, obviously, but having a guy like Caballero show what he can do as Colton Wong struggles when he was supposed to be our guy, it puts it into perspective that it's good to have one of those utility guys around that can fill in shortstop, third base, left field, second base. I think Dylan Moore is a good piece to have on our bench, and I've always thought so. I think we'll keep him around. But Haggerty's a good piece to trade in with some prospects so they get a little bit of major league talent and experience with some prospects to get something, right?
You like Demo better than Haggerty?
We extended him, and I do like Demo better than Haggerty. I think that Demo has yet to show us what he can do coming back from his injury, and I hope that he can do well. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic because we haven't seen a whole lot, but I like having Demo on our bench.
Yeah, Demo's probably the best bet to keep as a general utility guy. It is good to have one just for in case of an emergency. You have someone that you can throw out there at any position at any time.
And his defense is good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not like he has the strongest arm in the world, but whatever. He's not like a traditional outfielder, so you can get by just fine with that. I mean, some teams are the Orioles still play Adam Frazier in the outfield sometime, and that dude's got an old noodle arm.
Left fielder, Adam Frazier. Noodle arm, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, Haggerty can probably go. It sucks. Love Haggerty, but he hasn't really played since his concussion, and now he's just down in Tacoma, so
Right.
whatever he's doing down there.
Yeah, Demo's coming off that injury, and he didn't really get a spring training, so
Yeah, he's
him
been
going
doing that
0 for
extended spring training and stuff that they
15 or
have.
whatever he is isn't that outrageous.
Yeah, it's okay. It would be nice to sprinkle a hit
It
in there,
sure would.
but
So is one of our targets a second baseman to platoon with Caballero, even because we have all these second baseman type players, and it'd be weird to do that because I think we have to DFA Wong soon. He
well,
hasn't
yeah,
been
we can't
playing.
have a third.
Yeah.
For us, if we're planning on getting another second baseman, Wong has to be out the door first.
Am I the only one that doesn't like the platoon thing?
No. I think we all don't really love it.
Okay. Because, we literally just talked about how Demo's a utility guy. Why would I don't understand, I know this, we're talking hypothetically, of course. Just get, a DH or get a better hitter. Just DH. You just have to play in the field. I like our lineup right now.
Yeah, well, look at our bench, though. The DH type guy we have on our bench right now is Mike Ford, who's been actually putting up. He put up some homers. So
My mom was like, who
ride
is
with
this
him.
guy? I'm like, he's bad, Mom. Don't get invested.
We're going to ride with him for a minute, right? But look at our bench. Colton Wong's been there, but has been not even playing baseball.
Well, he's we're just...
So we can at least, I'm thinking that's why I'm targeting a second baseman, right? We're looking for a left-handed bat for sure and a second baseman that can play. So I'm just trying to think about who we should target and I don't know, and what we can give up. So do we need a left field, an outfield bat too?
I think our outfield is our strongest Well, when they all hit.
We have Pollock on the bench is kind of what I'm saying.
But that's the thing. If we get another like DH or whatever type bat, Pollock would need to go. Although Pollock can play a little bit of left field, but
why? He's kind of not performing.
yeah, no, I was saying Pollock would need to go.
Yeah.
If we got like another DH bat, Pollock would be the
Right.
one to go. I think our
I'm
outfield
with
is
ya.
fine.
I think it's fine, but like, so our bench pieces, Colton Wong, AJ Pollock, who do we can replace those pieces with better left-handed bats, right? I think that's why I'm thinking those types of trade targets, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but what's the return for him? You're not going to get shit for those
No,
guys.
But you
we're not
add 'em
going to
with
trade
prospects.
those guys. We're going to trade guys that are valuable for guys to replace those guys because we'll DFA them.
Yeah, but even still, so for us to do that though, we'll have to get rid of someone and someone good.
Yeah, that's why I'm,
Brian Wu. Is it Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
I'm good.
Miller.
Dude. I saw him get
Those guys
lit
are
up
good.
in Texas. I'm okay with.
His last start he pitched super well. 3 hits.
When
And-
Marco's back, we
in,
can
like,
give
the
up one of
fourth
those
inning, though.
guys.
That is true.
And they're both looking good. So I'm thinking we trade from our strength like that. We're showing off our arms. We still have Flexen, which doesn't seem like much of anything. We have Brash, who's kind of struggled but puts it together and is a big part of our bullpen still. But
Robbie
I don't
Ray.
know, man. Harry Ford is our number one prospect. And then we have all these pitchers, and we have Cole Young as a young shortstop, number 3 prospect in our system. Sounds really good. Like, that seems like a big trade piece, like target for other teams in our system.
Yo, this is actually something serious. For what the Mariners' plans with Harry Ford is, also depends like if Cal Raleigh is the plan to be our future. Like, so with him on his rookie deal and like pre-arbitration, are the Mariners gonna think like Cal is the future and sign him? If not, they could be willing to move him and have Ford be the guy, or vice versa. If they think Cal is what they need as the backstop for the Seattle Mariners, I could see Ford being moved for someone good.
Ford's a few years out still, and Cal's here and like going through arbitration, right? So I think even if we lock up Cal for like a shorter deal, like 3 to 5 years, it gives us time to develop Ford into his like protege. But either way, he's a huge trade piece all the way through, Harry Ford. If we need something in the meantime, if we're going to try to win now, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm bringing him up I would love to keep him in our system, but if we do sign Cal, he's a huge piece to trade. So, I mean, we have guys that are very valuable as prospects in our farm system. Even though we feel like we're depleted, we're kind of bringing everyone up to a level where they're almost major league ready and can be valuable for a team that's rebuilding. Like, look at the St. Louis Cardinals right now, for example. This is what I've been looking at. Like, they have players that can be very useful for us, like Lars Nootbaar. Lars Nootbaar is an outfielder, a good left-handed bat. He looks really good. He played in the World Baseball Classic and looked really good. He has a nice swing. He plays good defense. I think he plays left field. He has a little bit of power. He's kind of an all-around good player. He's young and he's under control for a few years because he's still in arbitration or pre-arbitration, like a lot of our guys. A lot better piece than AJ Pollock, in my opinion, or even Taylor Trammell. He's a step up from Taylor Trammell, who could be a trade piece as well.
That's true. Nootbaar traditionally plays right field.
Lars
Sure. Corner
Nootbaar
outfield.
also sounds
Outfield.
like he runs a cantina in space. That is
One of the best names.
In
It's a
Star Wars, bro. That's where Han Solo goes.
Meets his contact, Lars Nootbaar.
For our more casual fans, can you explain arbitration?
Yeah, so kind of, yeah. So players that go through like the minor leagues and get called up and are rookies, they're kind of getting paid a major league minimum when they first get called up, unless they get like sign a different kind of contract. So they have to go through a few years of pre-arbitration or a couple of years of pre-arbitration, and then in arbitration they can get paid more based on or less based on their performance. until like they reach free agency at some point. But they go through like arbitration 1, 2, 3, and then reach free agency. So they have like I think it's a 5-year window from when they start their rookie, like when they come up into the major leagues or whatever and start their clock. There's like a couple of years of pre-arb and then 3 years of arbitration and then free agency. And usually players will get signed up like extensions during arbitration years so that if they're performing well, they're like, yeah, well, let's keep you around. Or they're a valuable trade piece. Or they're under control for a couple more years and with an option to extend at the end of arbitration.
Yeah, I think it's when the player meets with the organization and they have a third-party arbitrator there to kind of work out their contract for them.
Yeah, so it's kind of like also in football, like how a lot of teams build around the young talent, so you have people on their rookie contracts, so they're not making as much. It's basically the rookie contract is arbitration for baseball. And yeah, also it's really interesting because if you have these arbitration hearings, you basically go in with a third party and the team can be like, well, he's performing adequate to what a rookie at his level should be doing. We're paying him the right amount. And then the player can argue and be like, my value is actually higher with how I'm performing. Just because I'm on my rookie contract, I should be able to make more because I'm performing more.
Yeah.
So then you can avoid those types of conflicts with the team if during their arbitration you're like, actually, we're just going to extend you now. And so, yeah, these players, a lot of our young bucks, a couple of them, their rookie contracts are ending soon. And it's interesting whether they want to stay with the team, whether the Mariners feel that they want them as part of the future, because like Logan's is coming up, Cal's is coming up,
Ty France,
Logan
Gilbert.
Yeah,
a lot of guys that are up and coming here, and we want all these guys to be our core, right? It's kind of like what the Astros did, just bring up the core and sign them all like they're all homegrown talent as a core, and that's kind of why I think one reason the front office has been stingy on free agents is because of that. They're like, hey, we have this core of guys that we want to extend all of them. Kirby, Logan, and then all of our relievers we brought up too. Like we want to extend Seawald still, I think, at the end of arbitration. Brash. There's all these guys that we could extend that are here already. So it's hard to sign that huge free agent piece when like we're still growing into our window rather than buying it like the Padres, you know.
So do you think the Mariners are going to be buyers at the trade deadline?
Yes.
Still yes. Okay.
They have to. I will lose my shit. And we'll see. We'll all, follow the news together and we'll see the moves that the Mariners make at the trade deadline. And if it's not enough, that means Jerry DiPoto has thrown the towel in on this season. And if he's not aggressive in getting players at the trade deadline and we start moving shit for like I can't imagine that we'll be sellers. I don't think we're just going to like sell the farm. But that could also, or not even sell the farm, like sell our roster, our major league roster for prospects and shit. But that could actually be worse than it's the same middling Mariners that they were for like 2 decades, where they're not the worst team in the league. They don't make the playoffs, but they're just middle ground. And so they need to make some moves. DiPoto really needs to put his big boy pants on for the deadline and get us some players.
For sure, yeah. And, like, I'm going to say the St. Louis Cardinals seem like a really good trade target. I was talking about Lars Nootbaar. If we wanted to do some kind of package, Tommy Edman is only signed through the rest of this year. He's a middle infielder, a veteran, and how's Tommy Edman doing this year, Garrett? Do you have stats for him? I think he's a switch hitter, too, which is nice.
Yeah. Tommy Edman is slashing 237, 279, 398 this season.
Okay.
The 696 OPS.
I mean, better than Colton Wong.
Yeah.
If we wanted to get
the standard.
If we wanted to get a Lars Nootbaar and take someone like a Tommy Edman in a deal, like, hey, I mean, package them up.
Get a right fielder, second baseman package.
Yeah. That seems like a great option. Left-handed hitter, switch hitter, middle infielder. And they also have Tyler O'Neill, Tyler O'Neill, I think, goes into free agency after this season, and he's a right-handed masher outfielder, a guy we traded for Marco Gonzalez. We can get him back here in Seattle. I mean, they have some pitching too, or Paul DeYoung. Paul DeYoung is another middle infielder for them that could be a trade piece. So, I mean, there's options with the St. Louis Cardinals. They're doing so bad. It's hard to imagine how bad they're doing, but it seems like they could tear it down and even trade Paul Goldschmidt. Not that I'm saying we should get Paul Goldschmidt, but they might tear it down and start trading these types of pieces. I think the Mariners could capitalize on some of these names.
Yeah, I don't know if Tyler O'Neill is doing very well this season, though. He's got a 228 batting average with a 283 OBP. He's slugging 337 with a 620 OPS.
I know Tyler O'Neill is having issues
for
with
a
them
left
over
fielder,
there.
man. I don't know about.
I know. I think everyone knows he can be a masher, and I mean the Cardinals are doing bad, and everyone knows he was having issues with the coaching staff.
Yeah, they got in that beef early in the season.
He seems like a guy that needs a change of scenery, and maybe that'll help him out, and he can be good. I think he has potential to be good, but I'm just saying it's better than AJ Pollock. I'm trying to upgrade, you know.
Yeah, Tyler O'Neill's got 2 home runs on the season. I don't know, man.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more interested in Lars Nootbaar for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
I mean, Cody Bellinger on the Cubs is a guy that's been talked about. He's a guy that's a left-handed hitter, outfielder too. Even guys like Tony Kemp can be a better left-handed second baseman than Colton Wong right now. Ryan McMahon, a Colorado Rockies infielder. I mean, these are types of guys that we could at least improve over guys like Pollock and Wong on our bench. That's kind of the guys I've been looking at targeting. But what kind of like big targets do you guys see the Mariners acquiring or like going for? Is there anyone like a big name?
Do you think we could get someone like a Cody Bellinger? A name like that?
I think so. Cody Bellinger's had his struggles and is trying to be good again. Like he's a guy that I don't think has a ton of, weight right now. That's a guy that's acquirable.
You might be right about that.
Yeah, just what are we willing to give up?
Yeah.
Also, DePoto's kind of bread and butter is that he tends to fleece teams that are looking to be fleeced. So
he's out there looking to get fleeced.
What's up, Cardinals? What's up, Nationals?
Yeah, like the Reds. Like the
Call
Reds
us.
like weren't just like they were a dumpster fire over there. So DePoto comes in, slicked back hair, gold tooth. It's like, what can I do you for? And then he just robs them blind.
And then he's like, oh, San Diego looks very nice. I think I'll go on vacation.
Yeah, twiddling his mustache, wearing a monocle, robbing them. But so that's just another thing though. Where like, I don't know. He doesn't really tend to do deals with these large market teams, probably because he can't wheel and deal them as much. And I think he kind of gets off on it.
Maybe,
he just like has
about just yanking Ty France out of the Padres organization and being
yeah,
like,
he
"He's
just has that in his
mine
spank bank.
Remember, we got Hollander in there now. Maybe he's got some bigger aspirations that maybe I don't know. Maybe we have better vision than we've ever had with a GM and the president working together with Scott Service as well.
Well, right now I'm looking at the vision. I'm seeing a big overflowed honey bucket.
That's the image in your mind?
What do we do with that honey?
Just too much boom boom in a porta potty. That's what I'm staring at right now.
Do we need pitching?
No.
We could use another reliever probably. Our bullpen has been a little shaky as of late. We still have some guys that come in and shut it down, but Brash has been shaky. Topa has had a couple rocky outings out there. I'm still a sucker for Gabe the Babe Spire. He had a nice outing today.
He looks good. I haven't seen him pitch in person until today. Man, I love Gabe. He looks great.
And Munoz is nasty. So, and Sewald's good. Sewald's solid. No pitcher is going to go perfect or no closer is going to go perfect in saves in a season unless you're like Eric Gagne, who He has the record for like consecutive save streaks, and it's like 76.
I remember that happening when I
That
was
was
young. That was insane.
76 straight saves.
He blew the one in the All-Star game, though.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Didn't have it where it counts.
But yeah, so Seawald is solid. Fettuccine Alfredo Saucedo can go. I don't care about that dude
No.
in the slightest.
I like Saucedo.
I like Saucedo, man.
It's pretty good.
I think he's a good piece for us. To me, the guys that can go, definitely Flexen. He's sitting there hardly pitching. He's our long relief guy. It sucks that Penn Murphy is hurt again. So, I mean, but we have had guys come up, fill the spots. Like, I like Topa. I think Topa can be a solid piece all year. Topa, along with Spire. Saucedo, I know what you're saying about Saucedo. Like, I could see him going, but he's nice to have another lefty. But, like, we have to replace Flexen in our pen with someone, like, locked down.
Flexen isn't even a warm body right now. He's doing a nothing.
Yeah, we need to replace him with someone good. And, like, I think that's the one pitching thing we can do. We could go get a guy like Marcus Stroman. Apparently his front office doesn't want to, like, sign him up or whatever, and he's talking shit again.
He talks a lot of shit on
you think
Twitter.
Marcus
He gets into
Stroman?
fights with people on Twitter.
Would he be a good piece for the Mariners and shake shit up and be a fucking menace for us?
I kind of, I wouldn't mind having at least a couple more Mariners with kind of that bad boy attitude.
That fuck you in him?
Yeah. Caballero's got it. Caballero's got it a little bit. Kellenick's got it, but it's mainly just Adam's self.
Very self-deprecating.
It's totally
Why
self-inflicted.
the fuck did I
anger.
swing at that?
He's been smiling a lot. I'll say that.
I don't know, man. I'm still kind of like wishy-washy on Kellenick's whole vibe. Like, just his attitude seems weird to me. I think someone was doing a post-game interview. It might have been Seawald the other day, and then Kellenick came in to like dump the Gatorade cooler on him with just the deadest face. Didn't look happy about it. He's just like, I'm just gonna drench this guy for fun, I guess.
They made me carry this shit over
Yeah,
here.
like
Kellenick,
Ty, do it your
I was
damn
like,
self.
dude, can you have
Garrett,
a
I've
little
never
fun?
seen you smile once, okay? Like, come on, man, a
What are you
break.
talking about?
you just can't tell he's smiling because of the big mustache and beard.
Yeah.
Covers it.
You can't see my mouth.
Kellenick looks like he does a whole bunch of brocane. He does. He looks like he does a lot of brocane.
I don't know, man. I think he looks chill, man. I think he's
I
calm.
would never say Kellenick looks chill. He looks
He does
angry.
look like one bad strikeout away from like an aneurysm.
I think he's playing well. Man, I think he's locked in. I think that's what I see. I think he's maybe almost too locked in. Maybe he can loosen up a little bit, but I think he's doing most things really well. I like what he's doing. He's kind of shown me that he can be hot, he can slump, he's able to like make the adjustments. They started throwing him a bunch of breaking balls. He's been able to lay off of a lot of them and not chase as much, even though if he went through that period, he's able to adjust and know the game plan. And like, I think we can see him for a whole year and he can be pretty good. And I know what you're saying about what he looks like. He kind of has,
He's
is
like
he jittery?
resting bitch face. Like,
I don't know.
Maybe that's all it is.
I think it's because last year he like let his emotions literally control him like a puppet, and it did not do anything.
Now his face is stuck that way. You ever hear that as a kid? You keep frowning like that, your face is going to stick that way.
I didn't
Well,
notice.
Kellenick did that. He spent all last year frowning. So now
Nah.
even when he's happy,
Nah, he's like, now if I'm a robot, I'll do better. And then it really worked, and he's like, oh shit, now I have to stick to the bit. And so he's just an unsmiling like iRobot from that Will Smith movie.
I guess I have to watch closer. man.
what
That's
movie was
funny.
that?
iRobot. by
Ah,
Will
there
Smith.
you go.
Just like that one iRobot.
I think they're called iRobots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the movie with Will Smith is called. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a little bit more of fire in our organization.
So-
Ty France is very laid back and like.
So you think Stroman would be a good fit, Patrick? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
I would
could
take a
see-
gamble on it.
Me
I
too.
I would be okay with that. I'd like a little bit more of kind of that assholeness in our team.
Inject a little spark here. We
Yeah,
need it.
JP, he can have a little bit of a fiery side, but more often than not, again, pretty level-headed dude. Suarez, he's only good vibes only, so he's not allowed. He can't even get upset. It's in his contract.
I don't think he has it in him. He's just so happy.
He's like very jolly.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
And Cal's just happy to be wherever he's at. He's near a train crossing, so he's happy.
Train tracks.
His mustache looks great.
Cal's mustache is cool.
You see that episode of Rick and Morty when they go to like the apocalyptic world, and there's that guy that Summer hangs out with, and he's wearing the mask, and he takes it off, and he just kind of looks like a dork with a mustache.
Oh, yeah.
That's Cal.
Yeah, I guess they tried to, incite some kind of a spark, some cohesion when Cal grew a mustache, and then Service was like, I'll grow a mustache if you keep hitting the ball, and then he didn't hit the ball, and now Service doesn't have a mustache.
Yeah.
But I guess it was a good idea, short-lived, but do more of that, Scott.
Yeah.
Get involved. Do something.
Honestly,
Remember when he shaved the streak in his hair to match Edwin Diaz?
Yeah.
Yeah, do something like that. Grow a little mustache.
yeah, Scott Service needs a little energy too. He should get more involved. And I have seen more chemistry with the team. Like they've been playing with more vigor and passion. They're getting things clicking. I think they're starting to go a little bit. And I like that. Hovering around 500 is still fine. It's still fine. We want to be over 500, of course. But I think we can go on a little run here. Yankees are without Judge. We play them soon. Like the Yankee series should be a good one. They don't have Judge. Like their chemistry is a little bit off right now, I think.
Good.
The Mariners are starting to click. The Yankees are kind of weakened. And that's a good
Yeah, but we need teams in our division to get weak.
Yes. We lost our divisional series recently, and that was not fun to Texas and the Angels, and that sucked.
Yeah, dude, we need to be winning divisional games. We need to be 500 on the road and plus at home.
Yes.
And that's what'll get us there.
Yes.
That's what it's going to take.
100%.
So we go to New York.
Yeah, we have a rough trip coming up against the AL East. Well, at least two of them. Because, we're going to New York. We do have a travel day in between, which is nice. So we have an afternoon game, then a full day of travel, and then a night game in New York. So that at least... Because it's always the worst when the Mariners have to travel from the West Coast to the fucking East Coast and play the next night.
Yep. So we go to Yankee Stadium, where I think we can boost some balls there. We've been really good at putting the ball in the air. Like, we've had a lot of warning track power recently.
A ton of warning track power.
Warning track power.
Let's put some into the seats in New York for sure.
Yes.
That's a good place to do that. Then we go to Baltimore, where it's going to be tough to put them in the seats in left field, at least. They moved that fence way back. But Baltimore has been hot all season. And Baltimore is a team that was like the Mariners last year, that played with a lot of energy and was a surprise. And it's the beginning of their run. They have a lot of great players over there, young great players who are breaking out, which is what the Mariners kind of need to do. They took Adam Frazier from us. They're going on a run. They have good pitching. They have good young hitting. They're exciting. So it's going to be tough, and I want to see how the Mariners match up against them. We need to take 2 games against them,
Yeah.
Hate to be greedy there, but like if we can take 2 out of 3
You
from
don't hate
Baltimore,
to be greedy there.
yeah, you're right. We need to do that to build momentum and show that we are real before going into the All-Star break there soon. So then we got Washington for 3 at home. Wait, so we're in Baltimore and then we fly home and play a game against Washington?
Yes,
the
we do.
next
We do
day?
have an East Coast to West Coast back.
At least it's the Nationals.
Yeah.
So that'll be next week. So we got New York and Baltimore road trip coming up, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but we have to be in prove-it mode here. The Mariners are starting to go a little bit, and they have to be in prove-it mode. They have to be really getting the job done and taking advantage of all mistakes, not leaving the bases loaded,
Ugh.
not striking out with runners on second and third. It's
And no outs.
One out, no outs. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Those are the we need to take advantage. We should have jumped all over Giolito tonight. We should have jumped all over Kopech yesterday, and we only won by 1. We should have been all over Kopech yesterday on Friday night. So the Mariners have a lot of clutch work to do. When they're in those moments where they need it the most, it's not happening. We're popping up. We're striking out. Not productive outs. So, hey, we got unlucky in Miami, but we still aren't doing it with runners in scoring position recently, and that's got to change here. It's prove it time.
Also, we said this during the last series against the Yankees, but again, same thing. You show up against the Yankees, it's good for national media attention. Maybe go to New York, boost a bunch of bombs into the seats, and make them talk about the Seattle Mariners. That'll be the boost we need. And also, this was the same time last year when the Mariners were at like their rock bottom. They're not at the rock bottom this year, but this Father's Day weekend last year against the Angels was when I booed the Mariners off the field. It was like the last game of a 4-game series, and they had 2 hits. It was just a shit show, and it was like, so we're at that same spot.
Yes, I was about to boo them off the field tonight after having the game in hand twice in a row. I was like, is it wrong if I boo right now? Can I boo? This sucks. So yeah, we are at that same exact moment, dude. But expectations were higher this year, so it feels different.
Yes, it does.
But we are in that same kind of place, and Mariners got to get hot. Come on, 14-game win streak. Let's go.
Okay.
So
Just like a couple.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
500 on the road,
tongue in
plus
cheek.
at home.
But yeah,
Just a 5-6 game win streak.
let's win 3 series in a row.
That'd be nice.
yeah, just win a couple series in a row. I'm tired of this win 1, lose 1.
Yeah.
81 and 81.
Like win 1.5, lose 1.
Yeah, let's really streak.
Let's streak.
Let's go. We need to go streaking.
We're going streaking.
It's Matt's birthday. Let's go streaking.
Yeah, dude.
go streaking.
There's a party down the street. Let's go run by. Go for a jog. A yog.
Go for a sog.
Go for a soggy
A
jog.
soggy yog. What else? That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the A's thing. Don't
Talk
need
about the A's
to.
thing if everyone wants to.
Nah.
I'll just wrap it up.
The A's are being sold. It's official.
Not the worst team in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not the worst team in baseball. Now that belongs to the Kansas City Royals. The A's, they had a reverse boycott and had almost 30,000 people in their stadium. Good for them. I'm happy that they all got together and gave away a bunch of shirts that say sell, and they are selling.
It ended up just being a funeral, really. It was
Yeah.
kind of the saying goodbye.
Everyone knew it. And,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm happy for them to have that day. It sounded like a playoff atmosphere in that stadium for one day. So it's cool for them to have that moment. You know, I'm a big fan of the A's history and everything. I've always liked the Oakland A's. So hey man, I'm sad, but times are changing.
See you in Vegas.
Yeah, we'll see how all that shakes out.
The Vegas Aces.
Why not?
Whoa, name change.
There's already a minor
Are you
league team
Yeah, that's
named
their
Aces.
minor league team name,
And
unfortunately.
the 51s are a team too. So
Yeah.
it can't be like aliens or anything.
I feel like, are they not going to get a name change?
Probably not. I don't know.
I don't know. The
That's-
Expos changed. I mean, when the Sonics got sold, they changed.
That is true.
I know, like back in the 50s and 40s and 30s, they moved teams all around. Like it was the Boston Braves for a while, and
Yeah.
then they moved to Atlanta. They didn't change names very often.
Well, I
but-
mean, NFL, the
got Braves in Atlanta.
Chargers, the Rams.
that's true.
I mean, they could keep the name and just move the franchise, or they could rebrand everything.
That'll be interesting to see. I wonder if they will change the name.
I wonder if will also tie into them finally doing the whole major league division restructure
Yeah.
with now another team up in Vegas.
And maybe baseball expands in the next 5-6 years. Who knows? Adds a couple teams.
Yeah, get us some new teams.
Give us some new teams, more teams that the Mariners can finish better than half
of them.
and worse than the other half.
And these conversations do get talked about. You know, I've heard them on other national baseball podcasts that I listen to. And those are things that do get thrown around as ideas, expanding the league, adding a couple teams, reshuffling the leagues. It's, you know,
Put more teams in the PNW.
it'd be exciting.
Cut down on travel time.
Yeah, seriously, it's so booty that all the East Coast teams just like
Hop on a bus.
Yeah.
Take an Uber to.
yeah, they just Uber to the opposing team's ballpark because they're all so damn close.
I'm going to take a helicopter over there. There's traffic.
You just walk,
Yeah.
get a brisk jog going. All right, well, we've got the upcoming series and against the East Coast, and hopefully the Mariners start bouncing back before we run out of time because time is slipping fast, and I feel like we keep like we're holding on to a little bit of rope, and then we're like, they need to do it now, and then another week or two goes by, and we're like, okay, but for real this time. Like, I'm so serious, you guys. They really got to be for real this time. Seriously. But, like, seriously.
Dude, last year the Mariners added big pieces at the trade deadline. Luis
Yep.
Castillo. I mean, Carlos Santana hit under 200, but was clutch, like a big piece of our energy and what we needed depth-wise from the bench. And
Yeah, but his stats in the fun differential could not be understated.
that's what I'm saying. The Mariners need to go make some moves that can spark our team that way. Imagine signing a guy like Stroman, a guy like Nootbaar that comes over and is on a contending team after being in a miserable Cardinals place for like all year. I don't know. I'm thinking ahead. I want some players here that replace our below average bench pieces that aren't doing anything.
And the sooner, the better.
Yes.
Don't wait until the trade deadline. Start making trades now. Let's bolster this fucking roster up.
We're going to keep talking trades in the future. We're wrapping it up here on the Mariners today. And we're hoping for the best on our East Coast road trip until next week when we get back together and recap all of that. And hopefully we're very happy instead of very soggy. And we can't ask for more than the Mariners to just keep making improvements.
I'm starting to get trench foot. It's so soggy.
Let's get out of this trench, guys.
All right. Thank you guys all so much for listening. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Tell your neighbor that you don't really talk to that often. You're always wondering, like, oh, should I say what's up? They are my neighbor. Yeah, go over there. Bring them cookies. Tell them about the Sogcast.
If someone's wearing a Mariners hat, a Mariners shirt, talk to them about the Mariners. Tell them something you learned here and tell them about our podcast. Hey, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Tony and Lauren. Thanks for getting us tickets to the game today. It was awesome for my birthday. It was fun to hang out with all my family. My friends were all there. Garrett, Patrick, my brother Monty, Alexa, Sam, my girlfriend. We were all there hanging out, walking around, watching the game. And our good friend Zach came down from Canada.
Yeah, hey, Zach. Thanks for coming, man.
It was super cool to see you there. Let's do it again. Let's all go to more baseball games.
Thank you all so much for listening. We'll talk to you guys next week. And go Mariners!
You gotta leave that train comment in, bro.